Welcome to our digital marketing mastery course. If you are ready to understand the online world and take your business or career to the next level, you are in the right place. Digital marketing is how businesses connect with people today. Every click, every search, every social media post is an opportunity to reach your audience. Learning these skills opens door to real results. In the first section, you will understand what digital marketing really is, how it works, and why it's essential for any business or brand. You will see how strategies drive growth and engagement online. Next, we focus on the people behind the screens. You will learn how digital customers think, what drives their decisions, and how to provide value that meets their needs. A website is the foundation of your online presence. We will cover everything from user experience to mobile friendly design so your site is ready to attract and convert visitors. Search engines decide who sees your website. You will learn the basic of SEO, how to optimize your content, and how to get noticed without relying on paid ads. Content is more than words. You will discover how to create blogs, videos, and posts that build trust, attract attention, and turn visitors into loyal followers. Social media is where your audience spends their time. We will explore platforms, content type, and strategies that increase engagement and grow your brand presence. Sometimes organic reach is not enough. In this section, you will learn how paid advertising works from Google Ads to social media campaigns and how to target the right audience efficiently. Finally, we will cover email marketing and analytics. You will understand how to reach your audience directly, track results, and use data to make smarter marketing decisions. By the end of this course, you will have the skills to create, execute, and analyze digital marketing strategies that work. This is your chance to grow your brand, your career, and your results online. Let's get started. When people hear the term digital marketing, they often think it means posting on social media or running online ads. But it's broader than that. Digital marketing is about how businesses use the internet and digital tools to reach people, communicate with them, and offer products or services. In this lecture, I want to explain what digital marketing really means using simple ideas that make sense even if you are completely new to this field. No technical details, just the concept. Digital marketing means promoting products or services using digital channels. These channels include websites, search engines, email, social media platforms, and mobile apps. In simple words, if a business is using the internet or any digital screen to talk to customers, that is digital marketing. It replaces many old methods like newspaper, ads, or flyers, and it also allows businesses to talk directly to people instead of guessing who might be interested. The word digital comes from digital technology. This includes computers, smartphones, tablets, and anything connected to the internet. Earlier marketing mostly depended on physical things like posters, billboards, or TV commercials. Now people spend a lot of time on their phones and laptops, so marketing have moved to the places where people already are. That's why digital marketing focuses on online platforms instead of physical ones. Businesses use digital marketing to share information, build trust, and attract customers. For example, a company may create a website to explain what it sells. It may use social media to talk to its audience. It may send emails to inform people about updates or offers. All of this is planned communication. The goal is not just selling, but also staying visible and relevant in the customer's daily online life. Traditional marketing includes things like newspaper, radio, TV, and billboards. Digital marketing uses online platforms instead. One big difference is interaction. In traditional marketing, communication usually goes one way. In digital marketing, people can respond, comment, click, or leave. Another difference is measurement. Online activities can be tracked more easily, so businesses can see what people are actually paying attention too. Digital marketing is not only for big companies. Small businesses, freelancers, startups, and even individuals use it. A local shop, an online store, a teacher, or a content creator can all use digital marketing to reach the right audience. If someone wants visibility on the internet, digital marketing becomes part of that process, whether they realize it or not. Digital marketing is also a skill set. It includes understanding how people behave online and how digital platforms work. Someone with digital marketing knowledge can help a business grow online, build an audience, or communicate better with customers. This is why digital marketing is now considered an important skill in many industries, not just marketing jobs. At its core, digital marketing is simple. It is about using digital platforms to connect with people. The tools may change, platforms may come and go, but the main idea stays the same. Businesses want attention, people want useful information, and digital marketing connects the two through the internet. Digital marketing matters today because people live online more than ever before. They use phones to search, scroll, read, watch, and buy. If a business is not present in these spaces, it becomes easy to ignore. This is not about trends or popularity, it's about being where people already spend their time. Most daily activities now involve the internet. People check messages, look up information, follow brand, and make decisions online. Even when someone plans to buy something offline, they usually search online first. Because of this shift, marketing also moved online. Businesses had to follow the audience. That is one of the main reasons digital marketing became important. Digital marketing allows businesses to reach people who are actually interested. Instead of showing the same messages to everyone, businesses can focus on specific groups. This matters because time and attention are limited. Reaching fewer but more relevant people often work better than reaching everyone at once. Earlier marketing mostly involved talking at people. Digital marketing allows conversation. People can respond, ask questions, or give feedback. This interaction helps businesses understand what people want and how they feel, and it helps customers feel heard instead of ignored. That changes the relationship between a business and its audience. Digital marketing is often more flexible than traditional methods. Messages can be updated, paused, or adjusted quickly. This is important because businesses do not always get things right the first time. Digital platforms allow changes without starting from zero or spending too much upfront. One reason digital marketing is important is that results can be measured. Businesses can see how many people viewed, clicked, or responded. This does not mean everything is perfect or accurate, but it gives a clearer picture compared to guessing. Decisions can be based on what actually happens, not assumption. Most businesses are already online. If one business is active and another is not, the active one gets noticed first. Digital marketing helps businesses stay visible in crowded space. It is no longer optional in many industries. It has become part of how businesses survive and grow. Digital marketing is not only important for companies, it matters for individuals too. Job seekers, freelancers, creators, and professionals all use digital platforms to present themselves. Understanding digital marketing helps people communicate better online, whether they are selling a product, a service, or even their own skills. When we talk about marketing, it helps to understand how things were done before and how they are done now. Traditional marketing and digital marketing are both ways to reach people, but they work very differently. This lecture compares the two so you can clearly see how marketing has changed over time and why digital methods are now more common. Traditional marketing refers to methods used before the internet became common. This includes newspapers, magazines, radio, television, billboards, and printed flyers. These methods were designed to reach a large number of people at the same time. Businesses shared one message and hoped the right people would see it. Digital marketing uses internet based platforms to communicate with people. This includes websites, search engines, email, and social media. Instead of sending one message to everyone, digital marketing allows businesses to reach people online and adjust messages based on audience, interest, and behavior. Traditional marketing mostly works one way. A business sends a message and the audience receives it with little chance to respond. Digital marketing allows two-way communication. People can comment, ask questions, or react, and businesses can respond and learn from that interaction. Traditional marketing usually targets a broad audience. For example, a TV ad is shown to everyone watching whether they are interested or not. Digital marketing allows more focused targeting. Messages can be shown to people based on interest, location, or behavior. This makes communication more relevant. Traditional marketing often requires higher upfront costs. Printing, broadcasting, and physical placement can be expensive and hard to change once done. Digital marketing offers more control. Changes can be made quickly, and budgets can be adjusted based on results or needs. With traditional marketing, measuring results is difficult. Businesses often rely on estimates or delayed feedback. Digital marketing allows better tracking. Businesses can see how people respond and use that information to make decisions instead of guessing. Digital marketing fits better with how people live today. Most communication research and decision making now happens online. This does not mean traditional marketing has disappeared, but digital marketing has become more important because it matches modern behavior and expectations. Digital marketing works as a system, not as a one single action. It connects platforms, content, people, and data. When these parts work together, businesses are able to reach the right audience and communicate in a more organized way. This lecture explains the big picture so you understand how everything fits together without getting into details yet. At a basic level, digital marketing starts with a message and ends with a response. A business shares information, online people see it, and some of them react. This reaction can be reading, clicking, following, or contacting the business. The exact action does not matter here. What matters is that communication happens and something measurable follows. Digital platforms act as the place where marketing happens. These include websites, search engines, social media, and email systems. Each platform has a role. Some help people discover information, some help businesses explain things in detail, others help maintain regular contact. Together, they form the digital environment. Content is what people actually see or read. This includes text, images, videos, or any form of information shared online. Digital marketing depends on content because content carries the message. Without content, there is nothing to communicate. The quality and clarity of content affect how people respond. People do not just view content and leave, they react in different ways. Some ignore it, some engage with it, some move closer to a decision. Digital marketing works by observing these reactions. When people respond, businesses learn what works and what does not. Every interaction leaves data behind. This data shows how people behave online. Digital marketing uses this information to improve communication. It helps businesses understand patterns instead of guessing. The goal is not perfection but better decisions over time. Digital marketing is not a one time activity, it runs continuously. Messages are shared, responses are observed, and adjustments are made. This cycle repeats over time. Communication becomes more focused and more useful for both businesses and audiences. When you look at digital marketing as a whole, it is simply structured communication through digital platforms. Businesses share content, people respond, data shows results, and decisions improve. That is how digital marketing works at a high level. Digital marketing is not one single channel, it is a group of different channels that work together. Each channel has a specific role and purpose. In this lecture, I will explain the main digital marketing channels at a high level so you understand what they are and why they exist. Without getting into details yet, a website is the center of most digital marketing activities. It is the place where people go to learn more, read details, or contact a business. Other channels usually point back to the website. This makes the website an important reference point where information stays organized and accessible. Search engines help people find information when they need it. When someone searches for a question or problem, search engines show results that match that intent. Digital marketing uses search engines to make sure the right information appears at the right time when people are already looking for answers. Social media platforms are places where people spend time and interact with content. These platforms allow businesses to stay visible and communicate in a more casual way. Social media is useful for sharing updates, starting conversations, and building familiarity over time rather than immediate action. Email is a direct form of digital communication. It allows businesses to reach people who have already shown interest. Unlike public platforms, email messages arrive in a personal space. This makes email useful for regular updates, reminders, and long term communication. Online advertising allows businesses to place messages in front of specific audience. These messages appear on websites, search engines, or social platforms. This channel is often used when visibility is needed quickly. It works alongside other channels rather than replacing them. Content is not a separate channel, but it exists across all channels. Website, search results, social media, and emails all rely on content. The same message can be adjusted and shared in different ways, depending on the platforms and audience. Digital marketing works best when channel supports each other. One channel attracts attention, another explains details, and another maintains content. The goal is not to use every channel at once, but to understand how they connect and serve different purposes within the same system. A target audience is the group of people a business wants to reach with its message. Not everyone will be interested in every product or service, so businesses focus on the people who are most likely to pay attention, understand message, and take action. Understanding the target audience helps make communication more effective instead of sending the same message to everyone. Knowing who the audience is matters because it influences the way a business communicates. The message, tone, and platform all depend on the audience. If a business guesses the audience, many messages are ignored, but when the audience is understood, the content is relevant and easier for people to connect with. A target audience can be described using different characteristics. These include age, location, gender, interests, profession, and behavior. These characteristics help businesses understand what the audience cares about, how they spend their time, and what kind of communication will be noticed. It's not enough to know demographics. How people behave online also matters. Do they search for solution? Do they follow social media accounts? Do they read emails? Behavioral information tells businesses what channels and messages are likely to reach the audience effectively. Sometimes a business has more than one group of people it wants to reach. Segmenting means dividing the audience into smaller groups based on characteristic or behavior. This makes it easier to communicate with each group in a way that fits them, rather than using a single message for everyone. For example, a company selling fitness apps may target young adults who are active online and interested in health. A local bakery may target people in the neighborhood who check social media for food recommendations. Different products and services need different audiences. Understanding the audience helps businesses save time and resources. Messages reach people who care, content is more effective, and communication becomes meaningful. It also allows businesses to choose the right channels like social media, search engines, or email depending on where the audience is. The key idea is simple. A target audience is the specific group of people a business wants to reach. Knowing the audience makes all communication clearer and more likely to work. Without knowing the audience, messages are random. With a clear target audience, messages have purpose. A buyer persona is a detailed description of an ideal customer. It goes beyond basic demographics and includes habits, preferences, and challenges. Creating a persona helps businesses understand the people they are trying to reach and communicate in a way that makes sense to them. Buyer personas matter because they guide how messages are crafted and where they are delivered. When businesses know who they are speaking to, it becomes easier to choose the right words, the right tone, and the right channels for communication. A buyer persona usually includes basic information like age, gender, and location. It also includes interests, goal, pain points, online behavior, and purchasing habits. These details help make the persona more realistic and useful. Understanding behavior and preferences is key. For example, knowing which social media platforms someone uses or how they research product online makes marketing more effective. This is not about guessing, it is about observing patterns and using them to guide communication. Every persona has goals they want to achieve and challenges they face. Knowing these helps businesses frame their message in a way that offers solutions. This makes the communication relevant because it shows the business understands the persona's situation. Businesses often have more than one type of customer. Creating multiple personas allow them to address each group's unique needs. Each persona represents a segment of the audience, making it easier to craft messages that resonate. For example, a software company may have one persona for young professionals looking for productivity tools and another for managers looking for team solutions. Each persona would have different communication styles, channels, and content preferences. The key idea is simple. Buyer personas help businesses understand people better. When a business knows the persona, messages are more targeted, communication is clearer, and the audience is more likely to engage. The customer journey is the path of a person takes from first learning about a business to making a purchase. It helps businesses understand how people interact with their brand over time and what they experience at each step. Mapping the journey makes communication more relevant and organized. Understanding the customer journey matters because it shows how people discover, consider, and choose a product or service. Without this understanding, businesses risk sending the wrong message at the wrong time, which can confuse or lose potential customers. The journey starts with awareness. This is when people first hear about a business or a product. At this stage, the goal is simple to be noticed. People may see an ad, a post, or search results, but they are not ready to buy yet. Awareness is about introducing the brand. Next comes consideration. People now know about the business and start thinking about whether it fits their needs. They compare options, read reviews, or explore details. The communication here should provide helpful information and show value, not push for a sale too soon. The final stage is the decision or conversion stage. People decide to make a purchase or take the desired action. Messages here focus on trust, reassurance, and clarity. The business guides the audience toward completing the action with confidence. The journey does not end with the purchase. Post purchase experience includes using the product, getting support, or sharing feedback. A positive post purchase experience encourages repeat business, loyalty, and referrals. It is part of the long term journey. Throughout the journey, people encounter multiple touch points. These can be ads, social media posts, email, website, or customer support. Each touch point influences perception and helps move people from awareness to conversion. Coordinating these touch points improves the overall experience. The key idea is that the customer journey is a roadmap of how people interact with a business from start to finish. Understanding each stage and the touch point involved allows businesses to communicate effectively, meet needs, and help people move toward the desired action. Online consumer behavior is about how people act when they search, browse, or buy a product online. It includes what people look for, how they compare options, and what influences their decisions. Understanding this helps businesses communicate more effectively. Understanding online behavior matters because people act differently online than offline. They have access to more information, compare more options, and can switch between products or services quickly. Businesses need to know these patterns to respond appropriately. When people are interested in a product, they first search for information. This could be reading reviews, looking at product details, or asking for recommendations. How people search affect which channels and messages are effective. After searching, people evaluate options and compare them. They may check prices, features, or customer feedback. This stage shows what matters to the audience and what messages can influence their decisions. The purchase decision is when a consumer chooses to buy a product or service. Online behavior shows what triggers the final choice. Factors include ease of purchase, trust signals, and perceived value. Businesses can optimize these factors to help people decide. Consumer behavior continues after purchase. People may leave reviews, share feedback, or return items. Positive experiences encourage loyalty and referrals. Negative experiences show areas for improvement. Understanding these stages help maintain long-term relationships. Several factors influence online behavior. These include personal preferences, social proof, ease of use, and pricing. People are also influenced by recommendations, online ads, and the layout or design of a website or platform. The key idea is that online consumer behavior is a sequence of actions and decisions made by people online. Observing these behavior helps businesses tailor communication, improve experiences, and guide people toward desired actions like purchase or engagement. Data is the information businesses collect about their customers. It includes what people do, what they like, and how they interact with a brand. Using data helps businesses make informed decisions instead of guessing what customers want or need. Data matters because customer behavior is not always obvious. People may behave differently online than offline, and preferences can change over time. By looking at data, businesses can see patterns and trends that guide communication, marketing, and product development. Customer data comes in many forms. It can be demographic information like age or location, behavioral information like browsing habits, and transactional information like past purchases. Each type provides a different perspective on the customer and help build a complete understanding. Data shows what messages resonate with customers and what channels they use. For example, if data shows that a majority of customers read emails but rarely check social media, communication efforts can focus more on email campaigns to reach them effectively. Data allows businesses to personalize messages and experiences. When a business knows customer preferences, they can tailor offers, recommendations, or content personalized experience, make communication more relevant, and increase engagement. Analyzing customer data helps identify trends and opportunities. Businesses can spot what products are popular, which services need improvement, and where new solutions might be needed. Data guides strategy and decision making. Data helps businesses understand customers' needs and behaviors, which allow them to communicate more effectively and build trust. When customers feel understood, they are more likely to return, engage, and recommend the brand to others. The key idea is simple. Data provides insight into customer behavior, preferences, and needs. It allows businesses to make informed decisions, personalize communication, support opportunities, and build stronger relationships with their audience. A website is a collection of web pages that are connected and accessible online. It acts as a central place for information about a business, its products, services, and contact details. People visit websites to learn, explore, and interact with a business. A website serves as the face of a business online. It is often the first place potential customers go to understand what a business offers. A website communicates credibility and provides essential information quickly. Having a website matters because it allows a business to be found online. Without a website, people may not know the business exists or may rely on third party platforms that limit control over information and branding. A website is available 24/7. This means people can visit, explore, and learn about products or services at any time. Even when the business is closed, it helps reach people in different time zones or schedules. A well designed website builds trust and credibility. People often check a website to see if a business is legitimate. Clear information, professional design, and easy navigation make visitors more likely to trust and engage. A website supports marketing efforts by serving as a hub for campaigns. For example, social media, email, or ads often direct people to the website. This makes it easier to share information and convert visitors into customers. Websites can provide data about visitor behavior. Businesses can see which page people visit, how long they stay, and what actions they take. These insights help improve the website and marketing strategies. The key idea is that a website is a central tool for businesses online. It provides information, builds credibility, supports marketing, and helps understand customer behavior. A website is essential for anyone who wants to be found and trusted online. Websites come in different types depending on their purpose. Each type serves a unique goal and communicates differently with visitors. Understanding the types helps businesses or individuals choose the right one for their needs. A business website is created to represent a company online. It provides information about products or services, contact details, and company background. These websites help customers learn about the business and build credibility. A blog website focuses on sharing content regularly, like articles, tips, or opinions. Blogs are often used to educate, entertain, or engage an audience. They help attract visitors, build authority, and improve visibility on search engines. E commerce websites allow people to buy products or services directly online. They include product listings, shopping carts, and payment options. E commerce sites are designed to make purchasing easy, secure, and convenient for customers. A portfolio website showcases an individual's or organization's work. It is often used by freelancers, designers, or artists to display their skills and projects. Portfolio websites help attract clients or job opportunity by demonstrating capability visually. Each type of website has features suited to its purpose. Business websites focus on information and credibility. Blogs focus on content updates. E-commerce focuses on transactions and portfolios focus on showcasing work. Choosing features depends on goals. Choosing the right type depends on what you want to achieve. If you want to sell products, e-commerce is best. For sharing knowledge or opinions, a blog works. For promoting skills or work, a portfolio is ideal. Business websites are suitable for company representation. The key idea is that websites are not all the same. Selecting the type that fits your goal ensures the website communicates effectively and meets visitors' needs. Understanding the purpose helps design and structure decisions. A landing page is a single web page created for a specific purpose, usually to get visitors to take an action. Unlike a website homepage that has multiple links, a landing page focuses on one goal like collecting emails, promoting a product, or encouraging signups. The purpose of a landing page is to guide visitors toward a specific action. It removes distractions, highlights a clear message, and makes it easy for people to complete the desired action, such as subscribing, downloading, or purchasing. Landing pages are different from regular web pages because they are designed for one goal. They usually do not have navigation menus or multiple links. This focus increases the chances that visitors will take the intended action. A landing page typically includes a clear headline supporting text, image, or videos, and a call to action. The call to action is the most important part, telling visitors exactly what to do, such as sign up now or download free guide. Landing pages are important in digital marketing because they convert visitors into leads or customers. Every ad, email, or campaign can link to a landing page that is tailored to the message, making it easier to measure results and improve performance. There are different types of landing pages. Some are designed to capture leads, others to sell products, and some to encourage event registrations or downloads. Each type is focused on achieving a single objective. Best practices include having a clear and concise message, using engaging visuals, keeping the form simple, and placing the call to action prominently. Testing different versions can help determine what works best for the audience. The key idea is that a landing page is a focused page designed to achieve one specific action. It removes distractions, guides the visitor, and improves conversion. Landing pages are essential tools for campaigns, ads, and digital marketing strategies. User experience or UX refers to how visitors feel when they interact with a website. It includes how easy it is to navigate, how fast pages load, and how clear the content is. Good UX makes a website simple and enjoyable to use. UX matters because a website that is difficult to use can frustrate visitors. If people cannot find what they need quickly, they may leave and not return. Good UX keeps visitors engaged and encourages them to take action. Key elements of UX include navigation, readability, loading speed, and mobile responsiveness. Navigation should be clear and intuitive. Text should be easy to read. Pages should load quickly, and the website should work well on all devices. Navigation is how people move through a website. Menus, links, and buttons should be organized logically. Visitors should be able to find important pages without confusion. Good navigation reduces frustration and keeps people exploring the site. Readability is about how easily visitors can understand the content. Use simple language, headings, and short paragraphs. Important information should stand out. Clear content helps visitors grasp key points and take action. Loading speed affects how long visitors stay on a site. Slow pages can make visitors leave quickly. Optimizing image using good hosting and minimizing unnecessary elements improves speed and overall UX. Many visitors use mobile devices. A responsive website adjusts its layout and elements to fit different screen sizes. Mobile friendly design ensures everyone can access and navigate the website easily. The key idea is that UX focuses on making a website easy, efficient, and pleasant to use. Good UX keeps visitors engaged, helps them find what they need, and increases the chances of achieving business goals. It is essential for any website to succeed online. A mobile friendly website is designed to work well on smartphones and tablets. It adjusts its layout, text, and image so that everything is easy to see and interact with on smaller screens. Most people access to internet on mobile devices. If a website is not mobile friendly, visitors may struggle to read content or use navigation. This can lead to losing potential customers or readers. Mobile-friendly websites improve user experience by making it simple to scroll, click buttons, and read text. Content and image automatically adjust to fit the screen, reducing frustration and keeping visitors engaged. Websites that are mobile friendly are more likely to achieve business goals. Whether the goal is selling products, capturing leads, or sharing information, mobile users can easily interact and complete actions. Mobile friend lines affects search engine rankings. Search engines like Google prioritize websites that work well on mobile devices. A mobile friendly site can appear higher in search results, attracting more visitors. Designing for mobile means using responsive layouts, readable fonts, and buttons that are easy to tap. Images and videos should load quickly, and unnecessary elements that slow down the site should be minimized. Common issues include text that is too small, buttons that are hard to click, and pages that take too long to load. Avoiding these issues improves usability and keeps visitors on the site longer. The key idea is that mobile friendly websites are essential because most people use mobile devices. They improve user experience, support business goals, and boost search visibility. A website that works well on all devices helps reach and engage more visitors effectively. Search engines are tools that help people find information on the internet. They collect and organize content from millions of websites so users can search and get relevant results quickly. Examples include Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Search engines use programs called crawlers or spiders to explore the web. They visit websites, follow links, and read content to understand what each page is about. This process is called crawling and it helps search engines discover new and updated pages. After crawling, search engines store information in a huge database called an index. The index organizes pages based on content, keywords, and other signals so they can quickly provide answers to users' queries. When someone searches, the search engines look at its index and decides which pages are most relevant. It considers factors like keywords, website quality, link, user experience, and trustworthiness. Pages that best match the search intent appears higher in results. Keywords are words or phrases that people type into search engines. Search engines use keywords to understand what a page is about. Using relevant keywords in your content makes it easier for search engines to connect your page to user searches. Links from other websites to your site, called backlinks, signal trust and authority. Search engines view pages with more quality backlinks as more reliable, which can improve rankings in search results. Search engines consider how users interact with a website. If visitors spend time, click links, and easily find what they need, search engines see the site as useful. Fast loading, mobile friendly lines, and clear navigation are part of a good user experience. The key idea is that search engines crawl, index, and rank pages to deliver the most relevant results. SEO helps your website appear in search results by making content understandable, trustworthy, and user friendly. Understanding this simple process is essential for improving visibility online. On-page SEO refers to the optimization of elements within your website. It is everything you can control on your own site to help search engines understand your content and improve rankings. This includes text, headings, images, links, and overall page structure. On-page SEO matters because it helps search engines know what your page is about. It also improves user experience by making content easier to read, navigate, and interact with. A well-optimized page can attract more visitors and keep them engaged longer. Keywords are the words or phrases people type in search engines. Using relevant keywords in titles, headings, and content helps search engines match your page with user search. It is important to use keywords naturally and avoid overstuffing them in the content. Titles and headings tell both users and search engines what the page is about. A clear descriptive title and well-structured headings improve readability and make it easier for search engines to index the content. High quality content is informative, relevant, and easy to read. Content should answer user questions, provide value, and be updated regularly. Search engines favor pages that offer useful and clear information. Images, videos, and other media improve user experience. Use descriptive file names, add alt text for accessibility, and make sure files are optimized to load quickly. This helps search engines understand the content and keeps pages fast for visitors. Internal links connect different pages within your website. They help users navigate, distribute page authority, and help search engines discover all your content. Proper linking improves both user experience and SEO. The key idea is that on-page SEO is about optimizing everything you can control on your website. From keywords and heading to content quality and internal links, each element contributes to better visibility and user experience. Effective on-page SEO helps search engines understand your page and increases your chances of ranking higher. Off-page SEO refers to all the actions that happen outside your website that help improve its position in search engines. Unlike on-page SEO where you control the content and structure, off-page SEO depends on how other websites and people interact with your site. And this is important because search engines don't judge a site only by what it says about itself. Off-page SEO matters because it builds trust and credibility. Search engines want to show results that people can rely on. When other websites mention or link to your site, it sends a signal that your content is worth noticing. And that's why off-page SEO plays a big role in rankings. Backlinks are links from other websites that point to your website. Search engines treat backlinks like recommendations. If a trusted website links to your page, it tells search engines that your content is useful or relevant. Not all backlinks are equal, but in general quality matters more than quantity. Having many links does not always mean better SEO. A few links from strong and relevant websites can be more valuable than many links from low quality sources. Search engines focus on where the link is coming from, not just how many links you have. Brand mentions happen when your business or website name is mentioned online, even without a direct link. Search engines can still recognize these mentions as a signals of credibility. When people talk about your brand on blogs, forums, or news sites, it helps build authority over time. Social media does not directly control search rankings, but it supports off-page SEO. When content is shared, it reaches more people, more visibility, increases the chances of getting backlinks and mentions, and that's how social activity indirectly supports SEO. Online reviews, comments, and discussions affect how your brand is perceived. Positive reviews and honest engagement help build trust. Search engines pay attention to how users respond to a brand online, especially for businesses that serve customers directly. The main idea of off-page SEO is building trust outside your website. Backlinks, mentions, social sharing, and reputation all work together to show search engines that your website is credible. Off-page SEO helps your site stand out in a crowded online space by earning recognition, not claiming it. Technical SEO is about making sure a website can be accessed, understood, and stored by search engines without problems. It does not focus on content or links, but on how the website is built and how it works in the background. If search engines cannot properly reach or read a website, then even good content may not appear in search results. So technical SEO is more about structure and setup than words and design. Search engines use automated systems to scan websites, and these systems depend on clear technical signals. If a website loads slowly, has broken pages, or blocks search engines by mistake. It creates confusion, and when search engines get confused, they usually lower rankings or skip pages. Technical SEO helps avoid these issues and keeps the website stable and accessible. Search engines send bots to visit web pages, follow links, and collect information. These bots need clear paths to move through the website. If pages are hidden, blocked, or poorly connected, bots may miss important content. Technical SEO helps guide these bots so they can move easily from one page to another without getting stuck. Website speed means how fast a page loads for user and search engines. Slow websites frustrate users and also signals poor quality and search engines. Speed is affected by things like heavy image, messy code, and weak hosting. Technical SEO focuses on keeping the site light and efficient so pages load without delay. Most users now browse websites on mobile phones and search engines are aware of this behavior. A website that works well on desktop but breaks on mobile creates a bad experience. Technical SEO checks whether the site adjusts properly to different screen sizes and whether text, buttons, and layouts remain readable and usable. A clear structure helps both users and search engines understand a website. Pages should be organized logically with simple and readable URLs. When URLs are confusing or very long, search engines may struggle to understand the page topic. Technical SEO focuses on keeping URLs clean and organizing pages in a clear hierarchy. Security is an important signal for search engines. Websites that use HTTPS protect user data and appear more trustworthy. Browsers often warn users when a site is not secure, which can cause visitors to leave. Technical SEO includes making sure the website uses proper security setting so users and search engines feel safe. Technical SEO does not attract users directly, but it supports everything else on the website. Content, design, and links work better when the technical setup is strong. Without this foundation, other SEO efforts may not perform well. So technical SEO acts like the base that keeps the website functional and search friendly. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. It is the process of improving a website so that it appears higher in search engine results when people look for related information. Better visibility in search engines helps more people find your website naturally. SEO matters because most online experiences start with a search engine. If your website does not appear in search results, potential visitors may never find it. SEO helps attract more visitors without paying for ads. Search engines like Google use algorithms to determine which pages are most relevant for a search query. They look at content, links, website structure, and user experience to rank pages. SEO is about optimizing these factors to be seen as relevant and trustworthy. SEO helps generate organic traffic, which is visitors who come naturally from search results. Organic traffic is valuable because these factors are actively searching for information, products, or services related to your website. On-page SEO focuses on elements within your website. This includes using relevant keywords, writing clear headings, optimizing image, and making sure your content is useful and easy to read. Off-page SEO refers to actions outside your website that improve ranking. This includes backlinks from other websites, social media mentions, and online reputation. These signals help search engines see your site as a credible and authoritative. Technical SEO involves making sure the website works properly for both users and search engines. This includes fast loading speeds, mobile friendly lines, secure connections, and clear site structure. Good technical SEO helps search engines crawl and index your site efficiently. The key idea is that SEO is a combination of strategies to make your website visible and trustworthy in search engines. It attracts visitors naturally, improves website credibility, and supports business or informational goals online. SEO is essential for any website that wants to be found on the internet. On this slide, I want to explain what content marketing actually means because many people hear this term but think it is just posting random things online. Content marketing is not about pushing products all the time. It is about sharing useful information with people so they understand you better. And when people understand you, they start to trust you. That trust is what later helps businesses grow. So, content marketing is not fast, but it is steady. Content marketing means creating content that helps people instead of directly selling to them. This content can be text, image, videos, or audio. The main idea is simple. You give people information they are already looking for. You answer their questions, you explain things clearly, and over time people start to see you as a reliable source. When we talk about content, it does not mean only blog posts. Content can be social media posts, articles, videos, emails, guides, or even simple explanations on a website. If something is created to inform or explain something to the audience, it is content. The format does not matter as much as the message. What matters is whether it helps the person reading or watching it. Advertising usually interrupts people. You see an ad while watching a video or scrolling a page. Content marketing works differently. People choose to read or watch the content. They are not forced, and because of that, the message feels lighter. It feels more natural instead of saying, buy this now. Content marketing says, here is something you should know. Businesses use content marketing because it helps them stay visible without sounding pushy. When a business keeps sharing helpful content, people remember it. They may not buy today, but they remember later. And when they are ready, they come back. Content marketing supports long term growth rather than quick attention. Trust is a big part of content marketing. When people read useful content again and again from the same source, they start believing that the brand understands their problems. And trust is not built by selling, it is built by explaining, guiding, and being consistent. That is why content marketing focuses more on helping than selling. In digital marketing, content is everywhere. Search engines show content, social media runs on content, emails depend on content, even ads need content to make sense. So, content marketing connects with almost every digital channel. Without content, most digital strategies do not work properly. Content marketing does not give instant results, and that is normal. It works over time. You publish content, people read it, share it, remember it, and slowly trust builds. This approach works because people prefer learning before buying, and content marketing supports that behavior naturally. On this slide, I want to explain that digital content is not just one thing. When people hear the word content, they often think of blog posts only. But digital content comes in many forms. Different people prefer different types of content, and that is why marketers use more than one format. Some people like reading, some like watching, and some prefer listening. Blogs are written content published on websites. They are usually used to explain topics, answer questions, or share information in detail. Blogs work well because people often search for answers on search engines, and blogs can provide those answers clearly. Blogs also allow more explanation compared to short content, so they are useful when a topic needs proper explanation. Even though videos and social media are popular, blogs still matter. Many people prefer reading at their own pace. Blogs can be saved, shared, and read anytime. They also help websites stay updated with fresh content. And blogs are easy to scan, so readers can jump to the part they care about most. Video content includes short videos, long videos, and recorded explanations. Videos are useful because they feel more personal. People can see expressions and hear tone, which makes the message clearer. Videos are often used to explain ideas quickly, especially when visual help the explanation. Many people find video easier than reading long text. Images include photos, graphics, and visual posts shared online. Images are useful because they catch attention fast. A single image can explain something that might take many words to describe. Images work well on social media where people scroll quickly. They help make content easier to remember. Audio content includes podcasts and voice recordings. Audio is useful for people who like listening while doing other things like traveling or working. Audio content does not require full attention on a screen. It feels more like a conversation which helps build connection with the audience over time. Not every message fits every format. Some topics are better explained with text, while others work better with video or image. The choice depends on the message and the audience. The goal is always the same, to make the information easy to understand, and that is why different content types exist. Most digital strategies use more than one type of content. A blog can be supported by image, a video can be supported by text, audio can be shared along with short descriptions. When content formats support each other, the message becomes clearer and reaches more people in different ways. On this slide, I want to explain why trust matters so much in digital marketing. People do not trust brand easily, especially online. Anyone can create a website or a page. So when people see content from a brand, the first thing they judge is not the product, but whether the brand feels honest. Content plays a big role in shaping that feeling. Brand trust means people believe that a brand is honest and reliable. It means they feel comfortable listening to what the brand says. Trust does not come from logos or ads, it comes from repeated actions. When content stays consistent and helpful, people slowly start believing that the brand knows what it is talking about. Content builds trust by giving value without asking for anything immediately. When people read an article or watch a video and it helps them understand something, they remember that experience. Over time. These small helpful moments add up, and that is how trust starts forming naturally. Consistency is important in trust building. If a brand shares content regularly and the message stays clear, people begin to recognize the brand. When content keeps changing direction or tone, it creates confusion. Consistent content shows that the brand has a clear voice and purpose. Trust grows when content is honest. If content explains things clearly and does not exaggerate, people feel more comfortable. Overpromising can break trust quickly. Simple explanations and realistic information make content feel more real, and people trust what feels real. Educational content helps people learn something new. When a brand teaches instead of selling, it changes the relationship. The brand becomes a guide rather than a seller. And when people learn from a source, they start respecting it. That respect slowly turns into trust. Trust does not happen after one blog post or one video. It builds over time. Each piece of content adds a small layer. When people see useful content again and again, they begin to feel confident about the brand. This long term approach is what makes content marketing effective. Trust matters because people buy from brands they believe in. Even before buying, they follow, read, and listen to brands they trust. Content helps create that connection without pressure, and that connection is what keeps people coming back. On this slide, I want to explain what the content marketing funnel is. The funnel is a way to show how people move from first hearing about a brand to eventually buying or taking action. It's called a funnel because a lot of people may see your content at the top, but fewer search the bottom where they take action. Content plays a key role at every stage to guide people along this path. The top of the funnel is awareness. At this stage, people may not even know your brand exists. Content here is meant to attract attention. It could be blogs, posts, social media updates, videos, or infographics. The goal is not to sell yet, but to show value and make people notice your brand. In the middle of the funnel is the consideration stage. Here, people know your brand but are comparing it with others. Content needs to help them make decisions. This could be guides, detailed articles, comparison charts, or case studies. The content should answer questions and give useful information so people feel confident considering your brand. At the bottom of the funnel is the decision stage. Now people are ready to act. Content should support their decision and remove doubts. Examples include product demos, testimonials, pricing details, or free trials. This content is focused on helping people take the final step without confusion. Content change depending on the stage. At the top, it's mostly informative and attention grabbing. In the middle, it becomes more detailed and problem solving. At the bottom, it focuses on reassurance and clarity to help people act. Understanding this difference is key to building an effective funnel. The funnel guides the content strategy by showing where the focus efforts. If a brand struggles to get noticed, more top of funnel content is needed. If people leave after reading but don't act, middle or bottom content may need improvement. Using the funnel as a map makes content marketing more organized and effective. Measuring success is different at each stage. Top of funnel content is measured by reach and engagement. Middle of funnel content is measured by leads and interactions. Bottom of funnel content is measured by conversions or sales. This way, you can see how content impacts people at every step. The content marketing funnel is a visual way to guide people from awareness to action. Each stage requires different types of content. Understanding the funnel helps brand create content that builds trust, educates, and motivates people to act. It's a practical way to organize efforts and reach goals effectively. On this slide, I want to explain why content marketing is not just a short term tactic. Content can continue to bring value months and even years after it's published. Unlike ads that stop working when you stop paying, content builds a foundation that keeps attracting attention, educating people, and supporting your brand over time. Content marketing allows a brand to show knowledge and expertise. When you consistently share helpful and accurate information, people start to see your brand as an authority. This makes it easier for them to trust you. And over time, your opinions and recommendations carry more weight in the market. High quality content naturally improves search engines ranking over time. When content is useful and relevant, search engines rank it higher, which means more people find your brand without additional advertising. This creates a long term flow of traffic that can continue indefinitely if the content remains relevant. Content helps attract people who are interested in what you offer. Over time, it also nurtures them by providing consistent value and guidance. Even if someone doesn't act immediately, content keeps your brand in their mind, making it more likely they will become a customer later. Providing valuable content builds stronger relationship with customers. They start to rely on your brand for useful information, tips, or guidance. This trust and connection grow over time, making them more likely to stay loyal and continue engaging with your brand. Content marketing amplifies the results of other strategies like social media, email campaigns, and even advertising. A strong library of content provides material to share, reference, and link to, which enhances the effectiveness of all marketing channels in the long run. Creating content requires effort upfront, but over the long term, it is cost effective. Unlike paid ads that stop delivering results once the budget ends, content continues to generate value without additional investment. The cumulative effect makes content marketing more sustainable financially. Content marketing is an investment that grows over time. It builds authority, improves visibility, attracts and nurtures leads, strengthens relationships, supports other marketing efforts, and remains cost effective. Focusing on quality and consistency ensures that your content continues to provide value long into the future. Social media marketing is using social media platforms to connect with your audience, build your brand, and share content that matters to them. It's not just about posting, it's about creating a space where people engage with your message. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok allow businesses to reach people where they spend their time, and this helps in building relationships over time. The main goal of social media marketing is to build awareness and engagement. It allows businesses to show what they do, communicate their values, and create conversation with potential and existing customers. Unlike traditional marketing, social media lets you interact directly, listen to feedback, and adapt your message based on how people respond. Social media marketing offers several benefits for businesses. It helps reach a larger audience quickly, allows targeting specific groups of people based on interest or behavior, and give the chance to build trust through consistent communication. Over time, it can improve brand recognition, increase website traffic, and support lead generation without the high costs of traditional advertising. Different platforms serve different purposes. Facebook is good for community building and ads. Instagram focuses on visuals and brand aesthetics. LinkedIn is more professional and B2B oriented. Twitter is fast for updates and trends. And TikTok emphasizes short, engaging videos. Choosing the right platform depends on who your audience is and what you want to achieve. Social media marketing includes organic and paid strategies. Organic content is what you post for free to engage your audience, like updates, stories, and posts. Paid social media includes ads or sponsored posts that appears to targeted users. Both work together. Organic help maintain a presence and build relationship while paid boosts reach and visibility. Social media allows brands to engage directly with customers through comments, messages, and shares. This interaction helps in understanding their preferences, answering questions quickly, and creating a community around your brand. Engaged customers are more likely to trust your brand and consider your products or services when they need them. The success of social media marketing can be measured through metrics like reach, engagement, clicks, shares, and conversions. Tracking these helps understand what content resonates with your audience, which platforms perform best, and how campaigns can be improved. This ensures you invest time and resources in strategies that actually work. Social media marketing is a powerful tool for connecting with people, building relationships, and promoting your business. It requires consistent efforts, understanding of your audience, and adapting to trends and feedback. Done directly, it supports long term growth and helps your brand stay relevant in a world where social platforms are central to daily life. Social media has many platforms and each one works differently. The main platforms include Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Businesses use these platforms to reach their audience, but not every platform is suitable for every goal. Understanding what each platform offers helps in choosing the right one to connect with the right people. Facebook is a versatile platform used for building communities, sharing updates, and running ads. It allows targeting specific audiences based on location, interests, and behaviors. Businesses can create pages to share posts, host events, and interact directly with followers. It's also useful for storytelling and creating engagement over time. Instagram focuses on visuals like photos, short videos, and stories. It's popular among younger audiences and works well for brands that have strong visual content. Businesses use Instagram to showcase products, share behind the scenes content, and connect with people through interactive features like polls, questions, and live sessions. LinkedIn is mainly professional and B2B oriented. It's used for networking, sharing industry insights, and establishing authority in a specific field. Businesses use LinkedIn to connect with other businesses, hire employees, and publish content that demonstrates expertise. It's less casual than platforms like Facebook or Instagram. Twitter is fast paced and works well for real time updates, trends, and news. It allows businesses to join conversations, share short messages, and respond to customer questions quickly. Twitter is also useful for monitoring public opinion and staying updated on trending topics in your industry. TikTok focuses on short creative videos. It's mostly used by younger audiences and emphasizes entertainment and virality. Brands use TikTok to create engaging, fun content that can quickly reach a large audience. Challenges, trends, and hashtags are common ways to gain visibility on this platform. YouTube is a video sharing platform that works for long form content. Businesses use YouTube to create tutorials, product demos, testimonials, and educational content. Video on YouTube can stay visible for a long time and help in building authority and providing detailed information to viewers. Not every platform works for every business. Choosing the right platform depends on where your audience spends their time and the type of content you want to share. Some businesses use multiple platforms, but the key is to focus on quality engagement rather than being present everywhere. Understanding each platform's strengths makes social media marketing more effective. Social media marketing can be done in two main ways, organic and paid. Organic social media is when you post content without paying to promote it. Paid social media is when you pay to show your content to more people. Both have a different purposes, advantages, and strategies. Understanding how they work helps you decide where to focus your time and budget. Organic social media is about sharing content naturally with your followers. You create posts, stories, videos, or updates, and your audience sees them without you paying. The goal is to build relationship, trust, and engagement over time. Examples include posting updates on Facebook, sharing Instagram photos, or posting LinkedIn articles. Organic growth depends on creating content that people want to interact with. Organic social media helps you create long term connections with your audience. It builds trust because people see consistent content from you. You don't need a budget to start, and it allows you to showcase your brand personality. Over time, a strong organic presence can make people more likely to engage, share your content, and remember your business. Organic social media has limitations. It takes time to reach a larger audience. Algorithms on platforms like Facebook and Instagram often limit how many people see your posts. So, even if you have followers, only a small portion might see each post. Growth is slower compared to paid methods, and it requires regular efforts to keep your audience engaged. Paid social media is when you pay to promote your posts or ads to a wider audience. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok let you target people based on location, interests, age, and behavior. Paid campaigns can increase visibility quickly and reach people who don't already follow you. This method is useful for promotions, product launches, or generating leads fast. Paid social media gives you control over who sees your content and when. You can reach specific target audiences and measure the performance easily. Paid campaigns can drive traffic to your website, increase sales, or grow your followers quickly. It's a faster way to get results compared to organic posting alone. Paid social media has its challenges. You need a budget, and results stop if you stop paying. It can be less personal than organic content because people may see it as an ad. Campaigns need careful planning, testing, and monitoring to be effective. Poorly targeted ads can waste money and reach the wrong audience. The best approach is usually a combination of both. Organic content builds relationships and trust over time. Paid social media accelerates reach and brings results faster. Using both allows you to engage your existing followers while also attracting new ones. This way, your social media strategy is balanced and more effective in the long run. Today, we are going to talk about the different types of content that can be shared on social media. Social media is not just one type of post or message. There are many formats that can help you engage with your audience. Understanding these types will help you decide what works best for your brand and your goals. Text based content is one of the simplest and most common types of content on social media. This includes status updates, short posts, or tweets. Text posts are good for sharing news, updates, or thoughts quickly. They are easy to read and can reach your audience fast, especially if your message is clear and direct. Images are powerful because they grab attention immediately. This type of content includes photos, infographics, and memes. People tend to stop scrolling when they see an interesting image. High quality and relevant image can communicate ideas quickly without needing a lot of words. They also help build brand identity and recognition. Videos are becoming one of the most popular types of social media content. Short videos, live streams, and stories can explain things better than text or image alone. Videos can show products, share tutorials, or tell stories. People often engage more with videos because they are dynamic and can hold attention longer than other formats. Audio content includes podcast, voice notes, and audio messages. This type of content is growing especially with platforms that supports audio chat rooms or podcasts. Audio content is helpful for storytelling, interviews, or sharing detailed insights while allowing the audience to listen while doing other things. Interactive content encourages your audience to participate. This can include polls, quizzes, contests, or question and answer posts. Interactive content helps increase engagement and makes your audience feel involved. It also provides valuable feedback and insights about what your audience likes or thinks. User generated content is content created by your audience or customers. This can be reviews, testimonials, or social posts mentioning your brand. Sharing user generated content builds trust because people tend to trust other users more than brands. It also creates a sense of community and shows appreciation for your audience. Choosing the right type of content depends on your goals and your audience. Text can be quick and direct, image grab attention, videos explain and engage, audio gives flexibility, interactive content increases participation, and user generated content builds trust. Using a mix of these types can help your social media strategy be more effective. Today, we will look at how a brand can create a strong presence on social media. A strong presence helps people recognize your brand, trust it, and interact with your content. This is important because social media is where most audiences spend their time, and being visible there helps a business stay relevant. Having a presence on social media makes your brand visible to your audience. People often check social media before buying or interacting with a brand. So, if you are not active there, you could miss opportunities. Presence also builds trust. When people see regular updates and interaction, they feel more confident about your brand. The first step is knowing who you are as a brand. This means defining your voice, style, and the message you want to convey. Are you friendly, professional, playful, or serious? Your identity should stay consistent across all platforms so that people can recognize you immediately. You need to understand who you are trying to reach. This includes their age, interests, problems, and online behavior. When you know your audience, it becomes easier to create content that they find valuable and engaging. It also helps in choosing the right social media platform to focus on. Not every social media platform will fit your brand. Some are better for visual content like Instagram and Pinterest. Others are better for professional connections like LinkedIn, and some are for conversations like Twitter. Focus on the platforms where your target audience is most active. Consistency is key to maintaining your brand presence. This means posting regularly and keeping the same style and tone across posts. Consistent content helps people remember your brand and signals reliability. You don't have to post every day, but maintaining a steady schedule is important. Social media is not just about posting content. You need to interact with your audience by responding to comments, messages, and mentions. Engagement shows that your brand is active and cares about its audience. It also helps in building a community around your brand. Finally, it's important to keep track of how your social media is performing. Check which posts get the most likes, shares, or comments. Learn what your audience responds to and adjust your strategy accordingly. This helps your brand stay relevant and continuously improve its presence. Welcome to this lecture. Today we will talk about online advertising. Online advertising is simply a way businesses promote their products or services on the internet. Unlike traditional advertising like TV or print ads, online advertising appears on websites, social media, search engines, and other digital platforms. It is important because it allows companies to reach people exactly when they are looking for products or information online. Online advertising refers to the use of the internet to deliver promotional marketing messages to consumers. These messages can appear in different formats, such as banners, videos, pop ups, or sponsored content. The main idea is that businesses pay to show their message to a specific audience, often based on interests, location, or behavior. It is more measurable and flexible than traditional advertising because you can track exactly how people respond to your ads. The key difference between online and traditional advertising is how targeting works. Traditional ads are usually broadcast to a broad audience, like a TV commercial. Online ads, however, can be shown to specific people based on their age, location, interests, or online behavior. This means businesses can spend their advertising budget more effectively and reach people who are more likely to be interested in their products. There are many platforms where businesses can advertise online. These include search engines like Google, social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and video platforms like YouTube. Each platform allows businesses to reach people in different ways. For example, search engine ads appear when someone searches for something, while social media ads appears as a people scroll through their feed. Online advertising comes in many types. Some common ones are display ads, which are images or banners on website, search ads, which appear in search engines results, social media ads, which show in platforms like Facebook or Instagram, video ads, which can play before or during online videos. Each type has its purpose and works better depending on the audience and marketing goal. Online advertising has several benefits. It allows businesses to reach a large number of people quickly. It also provides the ability to target the right audience and adjust campaigns in real time. Additionally, businesses can track performance easily, knowing exactly how many people saw or clicked their ads. This data makes online advertising more efficient and cost effective than many traditional methods. While online advertising is powerful, it has challenges too. People are often exposed to many ads daily, so standing out is difficult. There can also be ad fatigue, where audiences start ignoring ads over time. Businesses need to create relevant, engaging, and creative ads to capture attention. Another challenge is managing budgets effectively to avoid overspending without seeing results. Online advertising matters today because almost everyone spends time online. Whether searching for information, shopping, or using social media, businesses that do not advertise online risk missing out on potential customers. It allows smaller companies to compete with large ones by targeting the right audience efficiently. Understanding online advertising is crucial for anyone looking to succeed in digital marketing. Today we will talk about pay-per-click advertising, often called PPC. This is one of the most common forms of online advertising. PPC is a way for businesses to display their ads on search engines or websites and only pay when someone clicks on the ad. It's a method that gives you control over your budget and helps reach people who are interested in your products or services. PPC is a model of online advertising where advertisers pay a fee each time someone clicks on their ad. So, unlike traditional advertising, you only pay when someone actually shows interest and clicks on your ad. It allows businesses to target specific audiences and get immediate traffic to their websites. When you run a PPC campaign, you create an ad and choose keywords that people might search for. These keywords trigger your ad to appear when someone searches for them. The search engines or platforms use an auction system to decide which ads show up and in what order. Advertisers bid on keywords and the highest bid don't always win because quality and relevance of the ad also matter. PPC ads appear on many platforms. The most common is Google Ads, where your ad can appear on Google search results. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn also offer PPC options. You can also run PPC on YouTube or other websites through display advertising networks. Each platform gives different targeting options depending on where your audience is active. There are several types of PPC ads. Search ads show up in search engine results when someone types specific keywords. Display ads or banners or images on websites. Social media ads appear in user feeds. Video ads are often on platforms like YouTube and play before or during videos. Each type has its own benefits depending on what you want to achieve. PPC has several advantages. First, you only pay when someone clicks, which makes your budget more efficient. Second, you can reach highly targeted audiences based on location, interests, or behavior. Third, PPC can bring immediate traffic to your website. Lastly, you can measure performance in real time, so you know exactly what's working and what's not. There are also challenges. For one, competition for popular keywords can be expensive. If your ads are not relevant or engaging, people won't click, which wastes budget. Managing PPC campaigns requires constant monitoring and optimization. Also, results stop coming in if you stop spending. Unlike some long term strategies like SEO, PPC is important because most people start their buying journey online. It helps businesses appear in front of the right audience at the right time. It's a flexible and measurable way to get traffic and generate leads. Understanding how PPC works is essential for any digital marketing strategy because it complements other channels and can deliver fast results. Welcome to this lecture on Google Ads. In this session, we will look at what Google Ads is, why businesses use it, and how it works at a basic level. Google Ads is one of the most widely used online advertising platforms, and understanding it will help you make sense of paid search campaigns in digital marketing. Google Ads is an online advertising platform provided by Google where businesses can create ads that appear on Google search results and other Google properties. Essentially, it allows you to pay to have your ad shown to people who are searching for products or services like yours. Unlike organic search results, these ads are paid placements and they can drive traffic to your website almost immediately. Businesses use Google Ads because it helps them reach potential customers at the exact moment they are looking for something online. For example, if someone searches for best headphones, a business that sells headphones can display their ad to that person. This makes it a very targeted form of advertising and it can deliver results quickly compared to other marketing channels. Google Ads works using a system called pay per click or PPC. This means you only pay when someone clicks on your ad. You create your ad, choose keywords that match what people are searching for, and then a set bid for how much you are willing to pay per click. Google then runs an auction each time a search happens, and the winning ads appear at the top or bottom of the search results. There are several types of Google Ads that businesses can use. Search ads are the text ads you see at the top of search results. Display ads are image or banner ads that appear on websites that are part of the Google Display Network. Shopping ads are product specific ads showing image, price, and store information. Finally, video ads appear on YouTube and can reach a large audience with engaging content. One of the biggest benefits of Google Ads is that it delivers measurable results. You can see how many people clicked on your ads, how many converted into customers, and how much each click cost. Another advantage is flexibility because you can set budgets, post campaigns, or adjust targeting at any time. It also allows for highly targeted campaigns so your ads are seen by the right people at the right time. To run a Google Ads campaign, you need a few key components. Keywords are the search terms you want your ad to appear for. Ad copy is the text of your ad, which should be clear and engaging. Landing page are where users go after clicking your ad, and they should be relevant to what your ad promises. Finally, bidding and budgets determine how much you are willing to spend to get traffic. Google Ads matters because it allows businesses to compete in a highly competitive online environment. Even small businesses can reach potential customers without relying on expensive traditional advertising. It also complements other marketing strategies like SEO and social media by driving immediate traffic and results. Understanding Google Ads helps you build campaigns that are efficient, targeted, and measurable. Welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to talk about social media advertising. Social media platforms are not just for connecting with friends or sharing content anymore. Businesses use them to reach audiences directly and drive meaningful actions. In this lecture, we will understand what social media advertising is and why it is important in digital marketing. Social media advertising is the practice of using social media platforms to deliver paid advertisements to users. These platforms allow businesses to target specific audiences based on their interests, behaviors, and demographics. Unlike traditional ads, social media ads can be measured and adjusted almost instantly, which makes them very flexible and effective for reaching your customers. Businesses use social media advertising because it helps them connect with people where they spend a lot of their time. It can help build brand awareness, drive traffic to websites, generate leads, and even increases sales. Ads on social media can reach very specific groups of people, so you don't waste resources showing ads to the wrong audience. The main platforms of social media advertising include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Pinterest. Each platform has its own strengths. For example, Facebook and Instagram are great for visual content and reach a wide audience. LinkedIn works well for B2B marketing, and TikTok is very popular with younger audiences who engage with short form video content. There are different types of social media ads. You have image ads, video ads, carousel ads that allows multiple images or videos, story ads, and sponsored posts. Each type has a different purpose. Image and video ads can be used for awareness. Carousel ads are great for showing multiple products, and story ads often create urgency because they appear for only a short time. One of the most powerful features of social media advertising is targeting. You can choose your audience based on age, gender, location, interests, and even behaviors. Some platforms also allow retargeting, which means you can show ads to people who have already visited your website or interacted with your business. This helps you reach people who are more likely to take action. The benefits of social media advertising are many. You can reach a highly specific audience, measure results in real time, adjust campaigns quickly, and use different creative formats. Social media also allows for engagement, which means your audience can comment, share, or like your ads. This helps you understand how people feel about your brand and improve your campaigns accordingly. Social media advertising matters because it is a crucial part of a modern digital marketing strategy. It complements other strategies like SEO, content marketing, and email marketing. By combining social media ads with these other tactics, businesses can create a more complete marketing approach that reaches people at different stages of their buying journey and drives better results overall. Welcome to this session on ad targeting concepts. In this lecture, we will look at how advertisements reach the right audience and why targeting is essential for digital marketing. Understanding these concepts will help you create campaigns that connect with people who are most likely to respond. Ad targeting is the process of showing your advertisements to a specific group of people rather than everyone online. The idea is simple. Not all audiences are the same, and by focusing on the right audience, your marketing can be more effective. Targeting can be based on demographics, interests, behaviors, or even past interactions with your brand. There are several ways to target ads. First, demographic targeting, which focuses on age, gender, income level, education, and location. Then, interest targeting, which looks at what people like or follow online. Behavioral targeting shows ads based on past actions, like previous website visit or online purchases. And finally, retargeting, which allows you to show ads to people who have already interacted with your brand but didn't take a desired action. Targeting matters because it ensures your message reaches people who are more likely to engage. If you advertise to everyone, many will ignore your message and your budget may not be used effectively. But if you focus on a specific audience, your ad is more likely to be relevant, increasing clicks, engagement, and conversions. Most advertising platforms have built in tools to help you target your audience. For example, Facebook ads allow you to target by demographics, interests, and behaviors. Google Ads offers targeting by keywords, location, and audience segments. LinkedIn lets you focus on job titles, industries, and professional interests. Each platform gives you the flexibility to reach the people who matter most to your campaign. Custom audiences are a way to target people you already know. For example, you can upload a list of your customers or newsletter subscribers and show them ads specifically. This is effective because these people are already familiar with your brand and are more likely to take action. Lookalike audiences let you reach new people who are similar to your existing customers. Platforms analyze the traits and behaviors of your current audience and then find similar users. This helps expand your reach to relevant prospects who have a higher chance of engaging with your ads. To summarize, ad targeting is about reaching the right audience in the right way using demographics, interests, behaviors, retargeting, custom audiences, and lookalike audiences. You can make your campaigns more efficient and effective. Proper targeting helps save budget, increases engagement, and improves results for your digital marketing efforts. On this slide, I want to start with a simple idea. Email marketing means sending messages to people through email with a clear purpose. That purpose can be to share information, give updates, or remind people about a product or service. It is one of the oldest online marketing methods, but it is still used because it works when done properly. And the important thing here is that these emails are not random. They are sent to people who have already shown interest in hearing from you. Some people think email is outdated, but that's not true. Email is still part of daily life for most people. We check it for work, for school, and for personal updates. Because of that, email becomes a direct way to reach someone without relying on social media algorithms. And unlike social platforms, email gives more control. You decide what to say, when to say it, and who receives it. Here is how it usually works. A business collects email addresses from people who agree to receive messages. Then the business sends emails with specific goals, like sharing news, offering help, or keeping the audience informed. The process is simple, but the planning behind it matters. Each email should have a reason to exist. If there is no clear reason, people stop paying attention. One important part of email marketing is permission. Emails should only be sent to people who have agreed to receive them. This keeps communication respectful and avoids spam. When someone gives permission, it usually means they trust the sender to some level. And once that trust is broken, it's very hard to rebuild. Some permission is not just a rule, it's a relationship. Not all marketing emails are the same. Some emails are informational, like updates or newsletters. Some are promotional, where a product or service is mentioned. Others are reminder emails, like follow ups or announcements. The key thing is that each type serves a different purpose. Mixing everything into one email often causes confusion, so clarity always helps. Email marketing is different from social media marketing in a few ways. Social media depends on platforms and visibility rules. Email goes straight to the inbox. With email, messages are more personal and focused. Social media is more public and fast moving. Both are useful, but email gives more direct access to the audience. One clear benefit of email marketing is control. You control the message and the timing. Another benefit is consistency. Emails allow regular communication without being overwhelming. And email can also help build long term relationships because people see messages over time, not just once. Email marketing usually works best when it is part of a bigger digital plan. It connects well with websites, social media, and online advertising. It helps keep people informed and engaged over time. And when used correctly, it supports other marketing efforts instead of replacing them. On this slide, I want to set the context. When we say email marketing, it does not mean sending the same kind of email again and again. There are different types of marketing emails, and each one has a clear purpose. Some emails are meant to inform, some are meant to remind, and some are meant to encourage action. Understanding these types helps you send the right message at the right time instead of confusing people. Newsletter emails are one of the most common types. These emails are usually sent on a regular schedule, like weekly or monthly. The main goal here is to keep people informed. You might share updates, articles, tips, or company news. And the important thing is that newsletters are not about pushing sales all the time. They are about staying present in someone's inbox without being annoying. Promotional emails are sent when there is something specific to promote. This could be a product, a service, a discount, or an announcement. These emails are more direct compared to newsletters, but even then, they should be clear and respectful. People should understand why they are receiving the email and what they are expected to do next, like checking an offer or learning more. Welcome emails are sent when someone signs up or joins a mailing list. This is usually the first email they receive, so it matters more than people think. A welcome email sets expectations. It tells people what kind of emails they will receive and how often. And it also makes the connection feel real instead of automated or distant. Transactional emails are triggered by an action someone takes. For example, order confirmations, password resets, or account updates. These emails are not promotional by nature. They exist to deliver important information, but they still matter because they build trust. If these emails are clear and timely, people feel more comfortable interacting with the brand. Reminder emails are sent to bring attention back to something unfinished. This could be an incomplete sign up, an abandoned cart, or an upcoming event. These emails are not meant to pressure people, they simply act as a nudge. Sometimes people forget, and a reminder helps them decide without forcing anything. Re engagement emails are sent to people who have not interacted for a while. Maybe they stopped opening emails or clicking links. The goal here is to check interest, not to push. These emails might ask if the content is still relevant or offer a reason to connect. And if someone is not longer interested, that's also okay. On this slide, the idea is simple. Not every message fits every situation. Sending the wrong type of email can confuse people or make them unsubscribe. When you know the purpose of your message, choosing the right email type becomes easier, and that's how email marketing stays useful instead of becoming noise. On this slide, I want you to think of an email list as a group of people who have given permission to hear from you. These are not random contacts, these are people who signed up because they were interested in something you offered, like content, updates, or information. And that permission part matters a lot because it changes the whole relationship. You are not interrupting them, you are continuing a conversation they already agreed to. An email list matter because it gives you direct access to people without depending on platforms or algorithms. When you post on social media, there is no guarantee everyone will see it. But when you send an email, it goes straight to someone's inbox. And that makes email one of the most stable communication channels in digital marketing. You are not borrowing attention from another platform. You actually own this connection. This slide is about trust over time. An email list is not just for sending offers or updates, it is for building a relationship slowly. When people keep seeing useful and relevant emails from the same sender, they start recognizing the name. And over time, that familiarity turns into trust. This does not happen in one email, it happens through consistency and clear communication. Here it's important to understand that a smaller email list with interested people is better than a large list with no interest. If people signed up just because they had to, they wouldn't engage. But if they joined because they wanted to, they are more likely to read, click, or reply. So the value of an email list is not in how big it looks, but in how relevant it is. An email list does not work alone. It supports other channels like content marketing, social media, and advertising. For example, someone might find you through a blog or a social media post, but the email list is where you keep in touch with them long term. It acts like a central point where everything connects, and that makes your overall marketing more organized. This slide is about control. With an email list, you are not affected. If a platform changes its rules or reduces reach, the list stays with you, and that ownership gives stability. You decide when to communicate, what to share, and how often. That level of control is something most other digital channels do not offer. Email lists also help you understand your audience better. Over time, you can see what people respond to and what they ignore. That feedback, even when it's silent, tells you what matters to them. And when you understand your audience better, your communication becomes clearer and more relevant. That applies across all marketing efforts. Some people think email is outdated, but it's still widely used and checked daily. People may scroll past posts, but they still check their inbox. And that's why email lists remain important even now. They are simple, direct, and personal, and when used properly, they become a reliable way to stay connected with an audience over time. On this slide, I want to explain what we actually mean when we say digital marketing analytics. In simple words, analytics means looking at data to understand what is happening. In digital marketing, every action leaves some data behind, like clicks, views, time spent, or purchases. Analytics helps us look at this information and understand how people behave online. We are not guessing here, We are observing what users actually do, and this matters because decisions based on data are usually more reliable than decisions based on assumptions. Analytics is important because without it, we don't really know if our efforts are working or not. You might be posting content, running ads, or sending emails, but if you are not checking the data, you are working blindly. Analytics shows what is getting attention and what is being ignored. It also helps avoid wasting time and money on things that are not effective. And that's why analytics is not optional in digital marketing, it's necessary. Here, I want to talk about the type of data that is usually tracked. This includes things like how many people visited a website, which page they opened, how long they stayed, and where they left. It can also include clicks on ads, email open rates, and engagement on social media. None of this data is personal in nature in this explanation. It's more about behavior patterns. This kind of information helps us understand user interest and attention. Analytics helps us understand how users move through digital platforms. For example, we can see if people land on a page and leave immediately or if they stay and explore more. This behavior tells us if the content is useful or confusing. And when many users behave the same way, it usually means something needs attention. Analytic doesn't judge, it simply shows patterns, and those patterns help guide better decisions. One key role of analytics is performance measurement. This means checking whether something is performing well or poorly. For example, if a campaign is meant to bring visitors to a website, analytics can show how many people actually arrived. If the goal is engagement, analytics can show interaction levels. This way, performance is not based on feeling, it's based on numbers that clearly show results. Analytics supports better decision making because it gives evidence. Instead of saying, I think this works, you can say, this works because the data shows it. When marketers use analytics properly, they adjust their strategies based on what users respond to. This reduces random decisions and improves focus. And even small improvements based on data can lead to better outcomes over time. There are many metrics in analytics, but the idea is simple. Metrics are just measurement. For example, traffic means how many people visit, engagement means how they interact, and conversion means they complete a desired action. You don't need to memorize all terms at once. What matters is understanding that metrics exist to explain user behavior in numbers, and those numbers help tell a story. Analytics is not something you check once and forget. It is an ongoing process. Digital platforms change, user behavior changes, and content performance change too. So analytics is about regular observation and adjustment. When you keep looking at data over time, you start understanding trends instead of isolated results. And that ongoing understanding helps maintain consistency and improvement in digital marketing efforts. On this slide, I want to explain what we actually mean when we say metrics and KPIs because many people hear these words often but don't clearly understand the difference. Metrics are numbers that shows activity like visits, clicks or likes, while KPIs are the most important numbers that tells us whether we are moving in the right direction or not. So think of metrics as all the data available and KPIs as the selected few that really matter for decision making. And this is important because without these numbers, digital marketing becomes guesswork. Here we talk about metrics in a simple way. Metrics are measurements that show what is happening on digital platforms. For example, how many people visited a website, how many opened an email, or how many watched a video. These numbers do not explain success by themselves, but they give useful signals, and when we track them regularly, they help us understand patterns, like what people like and what they ignore. KPIs are key performance indicators, and the word key is very important here. Not every metric is a KPI. KPIs are chosen based on goals. If the goal is to increase sales, then sales related numbers become KPIs. If the goal is awareness, then reach or impressions matter more. So KPIs help keep focus because they stop us from looking at too much data and getting confused. On this slide, we focus on website related numbers. Common metrics include website traffic, page views, bounce rate, and time spent on the site. These numbers tell us how people behave after arriving on a website. For example, if many users leave quickly, it might mean the page is not clear or helpful. And if people stay longer, it usually means they find the content useful. Here we talk about social media performance. Metrics like likes, comments, shares, reach, and followers show how people interact with content, but the KPI depends on purpose. If the goal is engagement, then comments and shares matter more than likes. And if the goal is visibility, reach becomes more important. So, social media KPIs should always match what the brand is trying to achieve. Email marketing has its own important numbers. Open rate shows how many people opened the email, and click through rate shows how many people clicked on a link inside it. Unsubscribe rate also matters because it shows whether people are losing interest. These metrics help understand whether emails are relevant and well timed, and whether the message is clear or not. This slide focuses on results that matter to businesses. Conversion rate shows how many users completed a desired action, like signing up or making a purchase. Cost per conversion shows how much money was spent to get that result. These KPIs help evaluate efficiency because they connect marketing activity directly to outcomes instead of just attention. On the final slide, I want to explain that choosing KPIs is not about copying others. KPIs should match goals, audience, and platform. Too many KPIs create confusion, and too few can miss important signals. So idea is to choose a small set of meaningful KPIs that clearly show progress and problems, and then use them to guide decisions over time.